Hello, I'm your Kingdom Spiritual Transformational and Life Purpose Life Coach and Mentor Latricia Booker here with Kingdom Business, where we are empowered, where we heal, we get delivered, and we get free. We know who we are. We elevate our minds and our spirits and raise and expand our consciousness to ultimately walk in our true divine purpose and power. And that is the truth of who God has created us to be. Kingdom people, we are history makers. We are world changers. We are dream successors. We are wealth generators. We are manifestors. We are curse breakers, and we most definitely are transformers. More than meets the eye. Yeah, Kingdom people. We are. Kingdom people, thank you all so very much for viewing my videos. Thank you for all your likes, subscribes, shares, for all your comments and feedbacks, for all your financial contributions to my channel, for all the seeds that you so generously sow into me and my ministry. Thank you, Kingdom people, for all of your bookings and all of your purchases. Thank you, Kingdom people, for everything you do here on Kingdom Business. Thank you, Kingdom people. Thank you. So, Kingdom people, I am on location, and you already know what I'm here to do. And if you don't know, then now you know. I am here to drop this beat, this word, this message. Yeah. Kingdom people, I am the chain breaker, and you are chain breakers too, Kingdom people. Are y'all ready to break these chains? Let's go. Kingdom people, come on. Let me upgrade you. Let me activate you. Let me elevate you, Kingdom people. Come on. Listen up, Kingdom people. God is saying he is removing the veil. Yes. God is removing the veil. He's removing the veil. He's lifting the veil off your eyes. Even the scales off your eyes and off the eyes of others. God is removing the veil for other people as well. Let me explain, Kingdom people. So, God has been speaking to me about recently, over the last few days or so. He's just really been pointing out things to me concerning, I'm going to say it like this, Kingdom people. You know how we have those individuals in our family that we find out are witches and warlocks, that they work for the devil. They're manipulators. They're under a curse, and they try to keep the family under a curse. So, Kingdom people, God had been speaking to me about this one particular person in particular. That was a double effect. This one particular person in particular, Kingdom people. He had just really been talking to me about this person. So for some time now, he had been showing me this person, revealing this person to me. And this is an individual, this is an elder. And I'm going to take my time on this, Kingdom people, because there's so much to this. But what had happened is, as God had been showing me things and revealing things to me, you know, I take note on it and let him show me what he will show me. But then this morning, Kingdom people, when I got up, God said to me, when I woke up this morning, I went to go use the restroom, and God just started talking to me, and it was so strong. And what he was saying to me, he started speaking to me to speak this to Kingdom people today. So, normally I don't even record on Sundays. Today is Sunday. At the time of this recording, it is a Sunday. In fact, it's November 27, 2022. This is the Thanksgiving weekend, actually. And so, it was on my spirit so heavy to speak this to Kingdom people. So here it is, Kingdom people. God has just been speaking to me and showing me this one particular person in my family. Again, it's an elder. And it's something that I've been seeing over the years with this person, but just really was not able to quite put my finger on it. Neither was I trying to. It was just something that I was aware of. You know, I've shared this before, you know, but it's a thing where, you know, I'm just like, this person has some issues. I was very aware that this person had unhealed wounds, very much. And then I had heard some things, you know, that had happened to this person that they had experienced that caused them some issues. And other people were aware of it too. So, you know, not making anything of it. So, you know, recently God had just began showing me this person, like really showing me this person. I say it started a few years ago with this person and another person, in fact. And I was speaking to another person, and not long ago, I was speaking to this person 3 years ago. They were sharing something with me that made me tell them something that God has showed me from an experience that I had and with these two people. And so when I'm talking to this other person, this relative, they were sharing something with me. It seemed like I just mentioned this not long ago. They were sharing something with me that made me, God told me, tell them. So I explained to them, oh, they witches and warlock. God had shown me that they were tapping into those things. And this person said, well, they're not tapping no more. So I'm like, oh, wow. Okay, that means this is a full thing. But this person was able to see it. So this person asked me, they said, why you didn't tell me? Why you didn't warn me? And it was a thing of, I said, well, you can't just, I wasn't never led to. I'm like, sometimes people have to see things for themselves. And if, God lead me to share like he's doing now, then I will. But everybody not always ready to see the truth about things. And sometimes God is just showing you. God is showing you. And what happened was also, I didn't know things that were transpiring with this person and these people until they started sharing. So, as they were sharing, I was finding out it was very similar things that we were experiencing. So anyway, that was that. So God had just been talking to me, like I said, about this one particular person in particular. It's a couple of them. And this person that I was talking to, what God has been showing me as of recent, is that they trying to recruit this person. And what am I speaking of, kingdom people? These are people in the family that try to keep the family in bondage. In fact, kingdom people, they really tried to keep you in bondage because you are the generational curse breaker. You are God's kingdom people. You are the anointed one. You are the chosen one, even, possibly. They know this about you. They see something about you. It's something about you that makes them jealous and they don't like it. So, it's some things that have transpired in the family. I can also remember this same person some time back talking about, we need to talk about the issues in the family. And I would just listen to them say this. I would never really say nothing, but in my mind I would be like, it's really nothing to talk about. It's nothing to talk about. But what God has shown me recently is they don't want to talk about it, because talking about it, it's a thing where before I thought it had to do with what their ancestors had done. In other words, their parents, the generation that was before them. In other words, like my grandparents, that generation. Now, this is the generation behind that, their children. And I am a descendant of that generation. Descendant of that generation. So the generation above me is who we're speaking of. But God was showing me, as of recent, it wasn't what their parents did and that generation did. God said it was what they had done and things they had tapped into and the spirits that they were operating in. And God said they don't want to talk about it because it would expose them, and they're not trying to expose themselves. So it was a thing where God was just really showing me the depth of this one particular person, how deep it goes with them. And I can remember at one point in time thinking, oh, they do this, they have their little issues and stuff, but it ain't really nothing. But God showed me different, and it's deep. So anyhow, this person has a way about themselves, and I've noticed it, but never made anything of it. But God had just really been talking to me about their way. And they come off as sophisticated, as proper, as even mature. They try to anyway. And they carry themselves in a certain kind of way. And this is what God literally kept showing me. How this, just even experiences that I've had with this person. Being around, I'm talking about all my life. all my life, and even up to over the last few years, just really taking note to this behavior, not really knowing what it was until God really started showing me. But he just had me like really paying attention to this. But this person has a way about themselves where they're like, oh yeah, yeah, and they kind of talk like that, and just, you know, matter of fact in that kind of a way. But it goes a little deeper, kingdom people, because it's a thing where this person is always controlling. God was like literally showing me just different situations and different things, and it was like God said they're trying to control. They're wanting to put everybody, you know, they trying to control the whole environment, control the whole narrative, control, and it's in a very cunning way, where if you didn't know that's what it was, you wouldn't know that that's what it was. Now, I've also had a few people mention to me their controlling behavior, and I've heard people share with me how they feel like this person is always trying to reprimand them like they're a child, and these are grown-ups, grown-ups. So I'm, you know, just God is bringing all this to my attention, and just show me that this person has a controlling nature, and they're trying to control the whole scenario. It was also brought to my attention how some, you know, it had been times maybe of recent where, maybe not, but of recent, where when this person get among the group of people, and in this case the family, they'll say things, not necessarily saying my name, but people knew who they were talking about. And even to the point to where this one particular person that they know I may still communicate with, they wanted the message to get back to me. Now, what happened was the message did, first of all, the person that they felt that I do talk to sometimes that would bring this to me wouldn't even do that, because they know I'm not about mess. They're not even messy like that. So they wouldn't even bring mess to me. Secondly, God was even showing me how this, whatever was said, probably went over that person's head. And sometimes it does, again, because God be putting that mess, you know, knocking that mess out somewhere. Notice I'm saying mess, because this is what I saw. And everything God was showing me in the way that this person tries to manipulate everything, control everything. God, what I heard was, what I've been noticing is this person is messy. And even some of the things that they say, you know, certain things you point out, and even if over here with your younger niece, I'll say your niece, let's just say niece, it don't matter. If you're feeling like they have got whatever going on as a mature adult, and this is a person who is about in their 70s, early 70s, something like that. Some people be in their 60s, their 50s, 60s, 70s behaving this way. But all I could see was messy. Again, when you're the adult or the elder, you're supposed to be the example. You're supposed to handle yourself in a more appropriate way. But this person doesn't do that. They're always trying to say things and put things out there. And I've experienced it with them personally, where other people are concerned. They would say certain things to me, you know, even if it was like on my side, and point out something that not so nice about the other person, I always would just look. I never responded or said anything to anything, because it was weird to me. And now I'm learning that it was weird to me, because that's not a behavior that I want to say expecting from you. But what I was learning when God was bringing all this to me, I'm like, this person is messy. They're messy. But kingdom people, what God showed me this morning is, let me finish what I was saying. I think I kind of went in a different direction from what I was saying. How they would be among a group and try to control the narrative. Listen, if you the curse breaker, if you the one stepping out, if you the one God has called out and separated, and maybe you're walking in truth, you're speaking truth, you're exposing things, not in a way where you're trying to expose people and things, but you're speaking because God is moving you to speak. And not just that, you're walking to the beat of your own drum, or the drum that God beats for you. And they don't like that. So they have to make you look bad, kingdom people, to these people. But here's the thing. God went on to show me, he said to me, Jezebel, this morning. He said, that's a Jezebel. I said, oh, it sure is. What is a Jezebel, kingdom people? A Jezebel is, biblically speaking, is someone who is a deceiver and a manipulator. And it can be any being who, what I got here? I don't even need to read this because I know what it is. Any being who deceives and or manipulates to get what they want. So, kingdom people, it doesn't have to be a woman. You know, we know scripturally speaking, Jezebel was a woman, but a woman is a spirit. Men have this spirit too. Anyone who manipulates and deceives to get what they want for their own selfish reasons, even if it means causing you harm, even if it means, well, I want to say lying, but deceiving is just that. That's a Jezebel spirit. And what I say when God was talking to me about this whole thing, thinking of a Jezebel spirit, even in a man, it makes me think of silly women laden with sin. And this is a silly woman that I'm speaking of, laden with sin. They are a Jezebel. They are a manipulator. They are a deceiver. Overall, God said they are a controller. They're trying to control the whole narrative and what's going on and keep people under a cloud, under illusion. And God literally said to me, under their spell. So here are these groups of people and they're just doing what they're doing, saying what they're saying. Yeah. Now don't get it twisted, kingdom people, because everybody, all of them don't operate like what I'm saying. This is just the air that this person that I'm speaking of has. Because I also know another one, the other one, one of their minions is, they're more know how to talk calmly and slowly, but it's actually a manipulative tactic as well. And they do come off as intelligent because they do know some things. You have to understand, kingdom people, these kind of people, they do study things and know things and learn things. That's part of how they able to manipulate. You know, they're able to manipulate. They come off as intelligent many a times, not always. Because I done seen some dumb Jezebels. You be like, what? But anyway, I just pointed that out because that all of them don't have that air. Like I said, I don't want to go too much into that, but this particular person is the one that God is emphasizing right now. They have an air of, you know, they high class, in other words, and like they just so proper. And as a matter of fact, you know, upper level. They come off like they're upper level, but they're actually a Jezebel, and they're really just there to try to control and manipulate. And so God was pointing all this out to me and showing me this person. And like I was saying, it's not just women that are Jezebels. And it made me think of silly women laden with sin. And my thing is that I see men like that. Silly men laden with sin. Jezebels are not just women, they men too. So my thing with that is always when it's a man operating like that, he really jealous of women. Jezebel men, narcissist men are jealous of women and they really want to be a woman. This is what I've learned. And if you're a woman and you have a man, a narcissist man, or have one in your life, or one was, or whatever the case, they want to be you, the woman. They want to be you. They want to knock you down and take your spot. They really want to be a woman. And something happened to them. I'm just going to say that. I don't want to go into details of what transpired. But it be things that have transpired into these people's lives where it's a transference of spirit has happened. And now that demonic spirit resides in them that causes them to be like that. Now let us go back over here to this woman, this Jezebel woman, who is actually a woman. So God said this to me. You know, they sit around and they constantly going to work to try to paint the picture the way they want it to be painted. But because they don't want to be exposed, they wanted to make it look like, you know, whatever it is with you. They might even have some little cuts or some little things to say. You know how you can say something and you have a comeback. And it might be a good one. But the problem is it's not appropriate, or it's not, it doesn't match, because the reason why they're doing it is to take the light off of the truth of who they really are, and try to spin the narrative to make you look away by having a good comeback or having something. These kind of people tend to have a way with words. But again, keep the people, because I'm literally hearing messy. I'm literally hearing messy. They're messy. Pay attention to messy people. Pay attention to these grown people that are your elders, not always necessarily your elders, but I'm speaking of elders in particular, because we're talking about how God is lifting the veil off of not only your eyes, kingdom people, but others' eyes too. God is saying to me, he's showing others. And in this case, I'm speaking of family, but it doesn't only have to be family. It's any kind of situation where this applies. God said he's showing other people. He's lifting the veil so these people can see these people clearly. And even if they're under their spell, even if they're being affected by them, because some of these people, what they're doing is trying to keep, let me say this, because I kind of got ahead of myself. God said this to me, after he said, told me about the Jezebel, how they sit and I'm doing this because it's kind of like that's what they do. They woo magic. And they're sitting among these people, and these people don't even know that spells are being casted on them. But God said he's opening their eyes to see who this person really is. He's opening their eyes. And so when God gave me Jezebel, and he said, it's the thing where Jezebel deceives and manipulates to get what they want. And I asked a question about this particular person. I said, God, well, what do they want? God said control and power. So kingdom people, these people do these things to feel like they're in control and they're in power. This person in particular also, this is some of the stuff that God brought to my attention over the last few weeks or so, I'll say. This person used to be connected to someone who shared something with me about them being in a cult at one time. I asked a different person about that was also supposedly involved in this. And this person, this was some time ago, said, yeah, I do vaguely remember something like that. I said, okay. Thought no more of it. I was actually trying to piece together something that concerned me and my life, and how I was caught all up into whatever these people had going on. But see, God is a good God. God, he would take the foolish things of the world and confound the wise. He'll make a blessing out of some people's mess. When he anoints you, that's what he does. Because some of you had come out of some craziness. You were birthed from some craziness. But I don't want to go too much into that. So God had recently brought back to my attention that, along with some other things that were mentioned to me along the way, along the years, concerning this person that I'm speaking of and the person they used to be connected to. And God just started, he'll start piecing stuff together, showing you stuff. That's him removing the veil. He's removing the veil, kingdom people. So God started showing me this cult, and this person was very connected to this person. They were involved too. So God had to show me this so-called cult was them practicing some spells, they was in a dark arts. God didn't go into detail as to what and all that, but just enough to let me know what they were involved in. And God let me know this person still involved in it. They still involved in it. Now they have some wounds and they got some serious issues because the person that they used to be connected to that had them involved in this, or they were involved in this with, kind of really caused them a lot of harm. It caused them a lot of harm in the way that they were handled. I'm gonna put it like this: the relationship was toxic. Now, I didn't know that back then, growing up, that this relationship was toxic. I don't know, but as in hindsight, God is showing me things. And it was not only toxic, but this person that this woman was connected to was a Jezebel man that was manipulating this person. This person became a manipulator, and now that's what they're doing. But this person that they were connected to wounded them, and they never healed. And instead of healing and doing what they needed to do, they instead took on what they knew, the things they learned in this so-called cult, which is what it was. This person termed it as at the time back then when they mentioned this to me. Whatever it was, it wasn't of God. and they were tapping into some things. So that person saw that as having some kind of control and power, because that's what they were using it to do. They were trying to change or manipulate the circumstance, cause things to go in a way that they desired, which is what Jezebels do. They want to deceive and manipulate to get what they want, and in this case, control and power. And so, kingdom people, God was like, showing me this is what they do. This is what they been doing. They never stop. This is some understanding, something they had tapped into, some knowledge, and they been using it. They just don't let you know. They don't let nobody know because it's a secret. It's what they do behind the scenes, but they're still practicing it. And God was even showing me how they practice it among all the people. All the family, should I say. They have a way where they don't, it's like what God gave me is oppressed. They're keeping everybody oppressed to a point, and they don't even know it. People may even be starting to see that this person, now God said not starting to see, people seeing certain characteristics with this person. Like I said, people have shared it with me. I know what I've been seeing, but they really don't understand what's really going on. But God is starting to lift the veil off their eyes so they can see a little clearer. But God is also saying, he who has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit of the Lord is saying. He who has an eyes, let him see. So it's a thing where it's up to you. It's up to each individual what they see, what they allow God to show them, and understand it and get it, take it for what it is, and then more so what to do with it once God show you. And only God can lead you in that. And it's different for everybody. But God was literally showing me how this person, it's all about having control. It's all about oppressing. God kept giving me oppressing, being an oppressor. People that oppress. Think about Pharaoh, the Pharaoh who enslaved the children of Israel. Pharaoh felt empowered, like he was powerful, and felt like he was in control by having slaves. Everybody who had slaves did. That was a form of power and control. So anytime someone is trying to oppress you, they, in their mind, are giving themselves power and control. That makes them feel all right within themselves, even if they're doing it without you knowing it, which is basically what manipulation is. Manipulation can only happen if the person you're manipulating is not aware that you're manipulating them. So this is what God is saying. They're oppressing them. And it's a thing where people can do so good, but only so good. They can't go too high. And this is part of what this person does in the environment, within the group, within the family. You can do well, you can do all right, but it's only so far that you're going to go. And this person does what they do, and it does also include, I don't know if I said it, well, I didn't say it, things they speaking, certain things that they're speaking. And even where you're doing well, they like people that they had a part to play in whatever is happening in their life. They can do all right, but again, it's only to a minimum, because they don't want anyone stepping into the truth of who God has created them to be. It's all about keeping them oppressed and playing the role that they're for them, that they're good. Even people, I'm gonna say that they're raised, it's the same thing. God showed me it's the same thing. Even one of the people that they did raise had pointed out some stuff to me concerning this person. And this person, no, I don't want to say too, I'm trying not to say too much. I'm trying not to put nobody on the spot here, but God is like, he was talking to me this morning, like, I need you to just speak on this. That's part of the problem. All this covering up. You know what I'm saying? It's a problem. It's a problem. And the people that be so worried about stuff being exposed, be the perpetrators. These are the ones that's trying to have people under curses and spells and all this, and trying to manipulate. These are the Jezebels. I just heard these are the Jezebels in the family. The one that don't want the truth to come out. They don't want the truth to come out because the truth is that they are Jezebel. The truth is that they're witches and warlocks, and they're putting curses and manipulating everybody else in the vicinity. But going back to what I was saying, this person would share something with me. A different person that would share certain things with me had shared with me something that this person had done. And what was done was a thing to make them, it's like they didn't show up for something that in a normal situation like that, you should. And when this person told me that, I didn't say it to them, but I knew that they were trying to make them feel lack. And that's how the person didn't feel, the person felt a certain kind of way, because it's like, why wouldn't you ever come and show up? And I'm just listening to the person knowing this person trying to make you feel a certain kind of way. But I wasn't getting at the time what was really going on. I'm just peeping little stuff. They were, in other words, this person had been trying to break you down. Now, man, this is a person that had also raised this person. This person was jealous. This Jezebel that I'm speaking of was jealous of this young lady that I'm speaking about. Matter of fact, years ago, when this young lady used to be around me and we were real cool, you know, I'm quite a bit, about 10 years older than them, but or something like that, give and take. But you know, we were cool, and this person would like to come and talk to me, and they're a very smart person. They're different. I would even go so far and say that they're one of God's chosen ones if they follow that path. And that's the thing what God has shown me. This person, the Jezebel in the family, knows, well, one of them anyway, knows this. And they didn't like when we would talk, and I would see it and notice it. I would see how I watched a lot of things. I observed a lot of things that I never said nothing about. I peeped so many things, which is why God is able to bring some things back to me and say, this is what this is, this what that was, this was what that was about. But back then I knew this person didn't like me talking to them. They didn't like the fact that this person took to me like this, but it's because they recognized something in me, and they didn't want that person to connect with me and bring forth, I'm going to say what it is, the God's, who we are in God. They didn't want me to bring that out of that person. Now, they had already been working on me for years, but what I learned, they working on you too, and they helped raise this person. And so that doesn't matter. People would do this to their own children, unfortunately. Now, kingdom people, I'm not saying this is the case with everybody. Of course it's not. You know, put these things in this proper perspective. Let the Holy Spirit show you and lead you what is for you, what it is with you. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter. People do it to their own children. Even though this one was not their biological child, they did contribute to raising this person. It didn't matter. This person, that person was young back then, were a minor, should I say. So I didn't, you know, it's what it is. You know, they would try to steer things a certain way so this person couldn't be around me as much. And I noticed it. No trip. When this person got grown, wasn't nothing they could really do about it. You know, I've even had to withdraw from this person myself for, you know, certain reasons. No big deal. Still got mad love for this person. And I pray that they, you know, get what they need and be free. That's my biggest thing, that they get what they need and be free. But I had to detach myself from a lot of craziness that was going on. Anyway, this Jezebel person, the ringleader, you know, they have everybody, or trying to have everybody under the spell. But God is saying that he's removing the veil. He's removing the veil. And listen, when I asked God, when God was showing me about the Jezebel and how they deceive and manipulate to get what they want, I asked, what does this person want? And God said power and control. I think I said that already. But I want to point this out. People want to be able to dictate your life. They want to be able to dominate your life and say what happened. Yes, they will tap into those dark arts, you know, obviously manipulation, witchcraft, all those kind of things, to get that desired result so they can feel like they're in control and have power over you and your life. And so God is saying he's lifting the veil from not only your eyes, kingdom people, but from some of these people's eyes. For many of you, you already see. Many of you kingdom people, y'all looking at stuff, y'all peeping stuff God's showing you, but you just kind of maybe keeping it to yourself, or maybe again, God have you speaking on certain things or calling certain things out or whatever. But it's because God is leading you to do, and you don't care. Because I know me personally, even when God was speaking to me this morning about this, it's like I be trying to speak in a way where I want to say exposing nobody, or people don't know who it is, because if they watching, because they tend to do that, you know. It's like, I don't care. I have to do and say what I want to do. And God was saying that that's the problem. Part of the problem, they want things to be covered up. They don't want you speaking. And that's part of why they have to turn things around on you and make it look like you crazy, because you're exposing them. But God said he's lifting the veil off of their eyes. But see, here's the other part to that. People tell on themselves, Kingdom people. People tell on themselves. All they got to do is keep going. Anybody with a piece of a brain can peep. Why? You know what someone is doing. And then with God on the scene too, because see, God will give people discernment when he wants to. He'll make them see what he wants them to see. So it's a thing where it's not anything that these people can do to overpower the hand of God. And again, I'm hearing again, messy. God don't like that mess. And like I said, these is elder people stirring pots, creating mess, keeping it up. This is what they do. They're Jezebels, and this is their way of being in power and control, creating a mess and getting people to look at them like they're the superior. Not that you own that, Kingdom people, because what you are is the chosen one. You are the God's anointed, and that's what they want. But they want to be that. Of course, they're not God's anointed one. Not any time you a Jezebel and you operating in the spirit of the devil. But that's what they're wanting. They're trying to get the power and control that God has given to you. But you're not abusive. You're not trying to oppress people. And that's been a big thing that's been coming up. They're oppressors. They want to oppress people. They want you oppressed. They maybe even try to oppress you for years. And now, Kingdom people, you coming out. They don't like that. Now you probably even causing other people's eyes to be open because you telling it. If you are. I mean, you may not be telling it in this kind of a way, but in some kind of a way, I just heard God say, just you being you. Because like I always say, you ain't got to never defend yourself. You ain't got to never say nothing. You ain't got to do that. These people always expose themselves trying to, I want to say expose you, but okay, let's go with it. They're exposing the truth of who you really are, but not by trying to say the truth of who you really are. They're trying to say it's the opposite, but they expose who you really are, because all people got to do is pay attention. They pay attention to you, they pay attention to them, and God right there in the arena. I don't care how much magic and spell they trying to do, they cannot overpower God. And when God want people to know something, he gonna make them see it. Again, it's up to everybody what they do with it, and how they let God lead them in where it concerns what they've been shown. But the point is, Kingdom people, I just came to tell somebody, God said he is lifting the veils. Not just from your ass, but from their eyes too. Because Kingdom people, I just heard, the devil's time is just about up. The devil be knowing when their time be up, and that's why they overwork. Because it's desperate. Desperate times calls for desperate measures. They gotta control this thing. They gotta control this thing. They don't want people's eyes open. God said this to me. God said to me, they know if these people pay attention to you and see the truth of not just what it is with them, but who you are. And who you are represents who God is. And your freedom represents the fact that other people can get free, that they can get free. God said that this person has to keep pulling the wool over their eyes because they don't want them to get free. They want them oppressed because they are a Jezebel. They want to be in power and control over others. They want to oppress people. I keep hearing just like Pharaoh, but I'm hearing God say, let my people go. God is removing the veil from their eyes to Kingdom people. And it has a lot to do with you. It has a lot to do with you. You're helping God to remove the veil from people's eyes by doing what God is telling you to do. I keep hearing by being free. And even if you think you ain't free and you got to get deliverance over this, maybe, but you still walking in your freedom. You still walking in your freedom to some extent because you're moving in that. You're moving in the things of God. You're seeking God. And they don't want these Jezebels in your family. I'm going to say it like that. It's other situations, but that ain't what we're talking about right now. God is specifically telling me to talk about in your family. These Jezebels in your family want everybody oppressed and under their control and under their power. They don't want, because see, you didn't get free. Or you're getting free. You're doing something that's making them panic. They don't want these other people to pay attention to you, know the truth about you, and get free. So that's why they got to lie, manipulate, and deceive. Paint a certain picture. They don't want these people to be free. You got to remember that they're not free. They have chosen their side. What happened with the devil? He made his choice. He made his choice. So why y'all think he come after us? What does the devil do? Come to kill, steal, and destroy. But Jesus came that we may have life and have life more abundantly. See, these Jezebels don't want people paying attention to you so that they can get that life and life more abundantly that Jesus came to give them. They want them they want to kill, steal, and destroy that life and that life more abundantly. Why? Because they killed theirs. And the way for them to feel like in power and control is to manipulate and deceive you and keep you oppressed and in the blind and all that, as to not just who you are, but who they are and what they're doing. But see, God is so good because, like I said, when the time is right, he the Lord will make it happen for you. He the Lord will remove the veils from your eyes. Listen, God is removing the veils from their eyes, kingdom people. He is removing the veil from their eyes. And I'm just going to, close this out because we at 40 minutes. It's a mess. Them people are a mess. Listen, I'm going to say it like this. These Jezebels. Anytime you see these people operating in mess, God is saying, he said this is clear as day to me today. And he's saying it now. That's a Jezebel spirit. If they're messy, Jezebel. Messy people have a goal. They have an intention. And it's called control and power. And they don't mean you no good, by the way. It ain't for your good. It's nothing to help you. It's nothing to bless you. It's to oppress you. It's to keep you in bondage. It's to keep you from rising into the truth of who God has created you to be, kingdom people. And kingdom people, you getting free. There's some people that they trying to make sure they don't get free. So they don't want them paying attention to you. Or like I said, got to paint a bad picture about you. But God is saying, but I'm removing the veil from their eyes. Now let me get this scripture before I head on up out of here. And it is Acts 9:17-19. And it says, so Ananias went and found Saul. He laid his hands on him and said, Brother Saul, the Lord Jesus who appeared to you on the road has sent me, so that you might regain your sight and be filled with the Holy Spirit. Instantly, something like scales fell from Saul's eyes. And he regained his sight. Then he got up and was baptized. Afterward, he got up and ate some food and regained his strength. Kingdom people, God is saying, just like Saul, that's what he's doing with some of these people. It's like scales, something like scales fell from his eyes. And his sight was regained. He began to see the truth for what it was. And he got up and was baptized. That's what kingdom people, God is doing with some of your family members. He's setting them free too. Those who can receive it, he's setting them free. And they will regain their strength. And sometimes they might have to eat some food to regain their strength. But you get what I'm saying. Spiritual food, I just heard God saying. They got to eat of him. Eat of him. And their strength will be regained. But they might have to eat some food too. Some physical food. To regain their strength. But you get what I'm saying, kingdom people. But God is saying he's removing the veil. And he's setting some of them free. Yeah, these Jezebels, these witches and warlocks in your family have tried to keep your whole family oppressed. And I said whole. I said they've tried it. They're trying it now. Because like I was saying, I don't want to go too much into this. They have already decided their fate. What can happen with them? I don't know. God ain't giving me nothing like that. But what I will tell you, what God told me about this particular individual in my situation, what is this particular situation in my family, God keeps saying this to me. And he said, I kept hearing it so much today, it's ridiculous. But he's been saying this to me over a period of time now, since he really been removing the veil from my eyes. He said, this person will live a horrible death. Will have a horrible death. They would die a horrible death. That's what God keeps telling me. And he says that, you know how when you go to a funeral and you look at people, you know, when you do the viewing and you look at them and they look at peace. God said they won't look at peace. They're going to look disgruntled. They're going to look jacked up. And God even told me this morning, well, yeah, earlier today, he said they're going to look like the devil. Whether people recognize it as that or not, they're going to see something that's going to be interesting to them. God said they're going to die a horrible death. I don't know what that means because he didn't go into no detail, but he said they ain't going to die in peace, and it's going to look like they ain't at peace in their death, and people will be able to see it. So basically what they're doing is leaving behind, I don't know, they're not leaving behind no legacy, not of good. They're really causing their own detriment, and in death they won't even have no peace. And they will die a horrible death. Now, people, I hate to be saying stuff like this, but it is what it is. Like God said, you just need to say what you need to say. I be trying to steer away from this kind of stuff, but I'm really getting to a point to where, you know, whatever, it is what it is. I don't have no fear. I don't be concerned about stuff, but I just, you know, I'm not a troublemaker. I ain't trying to be causing no trouble either, but when God say speak and he tell me to do stuff, I have to do it. And, you know, yeah, I ain't concerned. Because if I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, if something go down, it's my time to go, I will go happily. If God calls me home, I don't have no issues with that. Sometimes I get tired of being in this stupid, crazy world anyway. But I ain't trying to check out either. But, you know, for some of us, we already know we ain't going. You know how they say, you never know where you gonna go. You never know. You don't know if you're gonna see tomorrow. But sometimes some of us do know, because God shows us things about ourselves. Sometimes God shows us how long we're gonna live to some extent. We know we ain't finna go nowhere now because we got too much work to do. And that's why God protects you and covers you and equips you, because you working for him. So we ain't taking you home yet, not till you finish. Anyway, kingdom people, God is removing the veil. God, he may be removing the veil too. I just heard the big reveal. Whatever that is, that's another message. Kingdom people, God is removing the veil from their eyes, just like you. Kingdom people, listen. I'm going to let that rest right there, okay? If you like this video and or if it resonates with you, please just go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Then click on that red subscribe button and subscribe to my channel if you have not already done so. Thank you, kingdom people. Then click on that bell right next to that red subscribe button so that you can get a notification every time I upload a new video. Something like this for kingdom people. Also, if you're interested in any of the services that I presently offer, if you would like to sow a seed into me on my ministry, if you would like to purchase anything from my merch or Avon store, you can find all the information right down below in the description box, along with the information for my podcast show. And so, yeah, kingdom people, you all know I love you all so very much, and I don't want to leave you, but I do have to go right now. But I will be back to hold my kingdom people down. Kingdom people, with that being said, much love, light, and peace, and many blessings to you all. Kingdom people, above all else, let the Holy Spirit lead you in all things at all times. Kingdom people, we are untouchable. That is my time. Jesus girl is out. Peace.